Hello, my name is Dennis Nelson, and I am the Solution Architect for Quest Software. Today's 5-minute demo, I will be discussing and demonstrating how STAT for Oracle E-BusinessSuite empowers our STAT customer base to manage, version control, and migrate more application object types than any other solution in the market. Further, STAT is the only fully integrated application change and patch management solution available, which includes all the features and functionality you see on the slide. This allows STAT to deliver more value and better outcomes for enterprises just like yours. There is no way that I can demo all the features and functionality you see on the slide in 5 minutes. Therefore, we are going to focus on two critical capabilities: STAT's version control and STAT's ability to automate your migrations. Think about it for a moment. What if you could manage, version control, and automate the migration of your application configuration, file, and schema objects in a single solution? How much time, effort, and human error would be reduced? I expect your audits would also improve as well. For today's demonstration, I've chosen a single object type just to simplify it, but it also really makes a really good valid demonstration as well. I'm using inventory item templates, which is a fairly common application configuration or functional setup that requires a business analyst or user to log in with a super user responsibility and make the change in each and every environment. So if you have a migration path of going from dev to test to UAT and prod, they would first have to log in with that inventory super user responsibility and create that application template. They do it in dev, then in test, then in UAT. There'd likely be some handoff before you go to production and also some user acceptance testing performed, and then finally made in prod. So that is 4 instances, if you're going to do it the right way, where those changes would have to be made. Ignore the numbers for right now. They could change, but the whole thing is, in order to do these 74 templates that I'm going to show you in my lab in the next few minutes, it would take a considerable amount of time. In fact, we've had customers tell us that it would take them as much as 30 minutes to do each one, which, if you're doing that kind of number, that would turn out to be basically a whole work week for an individual to do that. To demonstrate how STAT deploys the inventory item templates that we used in our previous slide, let me show you within our lab. I already have an archive set that includes the 74 inventory item templates. The way that STAT does that, it actually stores the code representation of that particular setup, also known as an LDT file. So you can see I've got 74 of these templates, each individually stored with their code representation of the setup. Now this is important to note, because that analyst that we mentioned will only have to do it one time, and from there it can be added to a change request, version controlled, and then deploying it to the target can be as simple as a drag and drop, for example, or it could be a planned migration and kicked off with an orchestration server, or scheduled within STAT itself. But in this case, you can see I'm going to take those 74 templates and I'm just going to simply do it in real time by clicking the migrate button. At this point, it has kicked it off. You can see it's in process, and even already it's beginning to process each of them. You can see they're submitted. As I go through the logs, I can see exactly what it's working on. It's processing the first of 74, 2 of 74, 3 of 74, and so on. At the same time, going back to our change request and clicking the process tab, I can also view that there. So if I'm a developer or a business analyst who's using STAT to do the deployment, I'm able to go in and actually see the logs that it's capturing as we're going. So the 74 at this stage, it has already gotten 57 of the 74 in the time that I've been talking. So another nice feature of STAT is we're actually capturing that output file that's created, where you can see that it successfully deployed today. And I imagine by now it's done. Let me just refresh. So what would take 37 hours in our previous scenario, we've now done in just probably under a minute. I can go back here and verify that real quick. Let me see here. It took 42 seconds. To learn more, go to https://quest.com/stat. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found this valuable.